On today's episode of Wrong Side, we dive into a long weekend in Green Bay for the NFL Draft and talk about the picks that we loved and didn't love over the weekend. The NBA playoffs have really picked up in the Western Conference as the Eastern Conference is still on the same pace of Cavs Celtics. Clutch moment of the week brought to you by Shore Metals and Outside the Line to wrap it up. In a world full of champions, we find ourselves on the wrong side.
Gone with time from time to time. But maybe it's time, baby, it's time, no time.
Welcome back, Wrong Siders. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. Today is April 30th. We have a full NFL draft to cover. We have a ton of NBA playoff basketball to talk about. Jake is here this week. Joey finalizing his move-in with Maddie. That's going on right now. A lot of strategy going on there. I've heard from Joey and Maddie getting things set up. Jake joining us today, filling in. We're going to Sixth Man of the Year award. Jake, he's recording from New York. I'm back home. Getting this episode out for you guys this week. A lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of questions. Jake, how's it going? How did school finish up? How is New York going? How's that?
School finished up pretty well. It was a tough week of exams last week. We had 5 in 1 week, so that was a little grueling. But other than that, they went pretty well. So going to end the semester pretty strong. Ended the year with a nice end of the year party last week for U Move. Got some nice more gear to end the year. And, now in New York, flew in last night, got some good Italian food. And today we went to the Yankee game and got some dinner with mom's friend Eddie. And now we're just chilling in the room. And tomorrow, a lot of shopping.
All right. A lot of things to go. Yankee game was fun. What would we rate any chicken? Did we get the chicken tender bucket?
We did not get the chicken tender butter. I got a very sad pastrami sandwich at the stadium. It was not good at all. I ate it because I was hungry, not because it was good. As a wise man once said.
And the tiramisu, what was it rated if you had to score it 1 to 10?
I mean, I'm not a huge tiramisu fan. I had a couple bites of it. I'd probably give it like a 6.5, 7. It wasn't the greatest. It's a stadium tiramisu. but I'll give it that
Okay.
7, that extra half point to a 7 because it came in a souvenir helmet.
Okay, yes, always good. That is always good. That has been one of the pictures floating around of new food in stadiums this year, and maybe something new at Shea or City. I'm sorry, this week, so that'll be good. But New York, full force, getting to relax now. Obviously, flying in yesterday, had nothing, didn't really get to settle down too much, but now got a couple days to relax, settle in there. Draft was finishing up. Obviously, I think the Knicks game 5 will be there this week while you guys are there, so that'll be a
Yeah.
interesting time for the city in a couple days. But New York buzzing like always. But in the sports world, we can dive in for the weekend. The main story of the weekend was the NFL draft. A lot of guys picked 14 Buckeyes tie. Oh, no, I think we got the second most for a team ever drafted, 14 behind Georgia, 3 UDFAs right after the draft, 17 guys, 17 Buckeyes drafted or signed after the weekend was over, and 0 to the Cowboys, Seahawks, and Bears. None to our teams, as it's right. That's as wrong side as it gets. But a lot of good players, a lot to talk about. Obviously, the main story is the understory we can talk about as well. But we'll start with our teams. Seahawks. What are our thoughts? Look like a weapon draft. Look almost like a draft for the future. Not so much a draft to win
Right.
right now. What were our thoughts on the draft haul?
Yeah, I mean, obviously watching the draft. I watched the draft the same way I have the last couple of years with friends. I was at the Ugly Tuna Saloon, for you people who don't know, on Chittenden, and watching the draft there. I didn't get to hear the sound, so it wasn't as fun. But I think
Sure.
first first pick at 18 for Seattle. I didn't hate it. You need a line. Sam only succeeded so well in Minnesota because they had a good O line. And Seattle did not have a good O line last year. Gino got sacked too many times last year. So I think that was a good pick in round 1. I think that round 2, when they took Nick Imanwari from South Carolina, I thought that was a great pick as a safety, and it made me even more excited that he posted on Twitter that he changed his Twitter profile picture to the Legion of Boom. So that gave me a little more hope for him. And I guess later in round 2, like, I didn't understand the tight end pick. You have 2 other tight ends already. You have Barner and you have Fant. Not saying either of them are fantastic or long term guys, possibly, but I think that it was an unnecessary pick. They could have gone a different way, I feel like. I think the only other real pick that I was like, okay, like this could be boom or bust is the Jalen Milroe pick. Um, and I think, I mean, now that we traded Sam Howell away, I feel like Milroe's going to be right there in the mix as like, okay, cool. If Sam gets hurt, like you might be an option to come in and play. Um, but like Jalen, who knows? He could be really good or it could be really bad. I mean, all the other picks that we made, I really can't make a full assumption or decision on. I didn't watch a lot of these guys play. Um, so yeah, those are my takes on our draft picks. One other thing that I enjoyed from the draft was Gray Zabel, North Dakota State O lineman who he chose. He just looks like a just goofy dude. His The way he said he was going to celebrate um, the draft was
Bush
awesome.
Lights.
Yeah, Bush Lights. So it looks like he just likes to play football, and that's exciting for me. How about you, Cowboys? Thoughts on it?
I'll I'll say quickly on the Seahawks. I thought the Seahawks draft was good. They need interior linemen. That was a good pick. Nick Emery, that was great. Jalen Monroe, I think, is a very, very good boom or bust. He's not going to be the starting quarterback. I don't think he would have been the starting quarterback anywhere, whoever took him. But getting him a chance to learn behind Sam, obviously Sam just did that with JJ. But Sam's got a couple years now to his name for a contract, so he can be the guy in Seattle, and Jalen Monroe can develop a little bit. Obviously, he's one of the best athletes, I'd say, at the quarterback position in this year's draft. He has incredible legs. When he connects on the deep ball, it's special. That's great. I also agree, wasn't quite sure with the double tight ends. I think the kid from Miami is good, but I don't know why they doubled down again in the fifth. Damian Martinez, I think, is going to be a good piece, a potential running back that can get in the mix of the Charbonnet, Kenny Walker mix. Riley Mills, also the defensive tackle from Notre Dame, great player. Probably would have been an earlier pick than the 5th round, but broke his leg tore his ACL towards the end of the season. Missed the last couple games for the Irish. Didn't play against Ohio State. Didn't play against Penn State. Think he got hurt in the quarterfinal game. So a very good pick there, I think, as well. Probably not the best draft in the world, but probably just, I think sometimes when you're a fan of a team and you're too close to them, you kind of want the flashy draft. You want the wide receiver. You want the running back. But sometimes the
Right.
drafts that aren't as flashy end up being the drafts that are most important or the most beneficial years down the road. And I know the Cowboys and other teams, of course, have always had those drafts where you just kind of go defense for a couple rounds and then the defense turns around that season, or you go offensive tackle and D-line. And you're like, oh, this isn't cool. I can't buy any of these guys' jerseys. But then
Right.
your O-line is short up, your D-line, like the Cowboys in the 2010s had a couple of straight years of like O-line type picks. They're doing it again right now, which is just that it's not flashy, but like you got to do it.
Right. And like you said, like with the jerseys, there's not one guy on this team that I would buy a jersey from this draft class. Not one. And
Yeah, right.
um,
But that's what happens. Like that's like you're not gonna have every draft where you're like, oh, I can't wait to buy this guy's jersey or like buy this guy's gear. Like there's
right.
gonna be a draft where you don't have the flashy picks, which kind of sucks. But whatever. I think it was still a decent draft. Do you know what PFF rated it? I saw them handing out grades. I don't know what
I
they
didn't
got.
see the full grade, but I mean,
Let's see.
I would say across the board, our grades were pretty good from the draft. A lot of A's and B's, only 3 C's.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty good. I mean, rounds 1 through 5, we had an A or a B.
Yeah, the Seahawks got a A per PFF.
Yeah, so I mean, successful draft based off that. And I'm gonna trust John Schneider. I think he's a good GM. So
Yeah,
hopefully we can turn it all around and win the West this year. That'd be nice.
yeah. No draft day trades for you guys this year.
No draft. Yeah, no Tom Michaels for us.
No Time Michaels. But yeah, good draft, I think. Let's see. PFF's got it as an A. The Cowboys draft, surprisingly enough, the Cowboys draft actually wasn't as bad as people think it was, and not as bad as I think it was either. I know PFF graded it an A plus. I don't think it's an A plus, but I think it probably was in the A minus range. Not a sexy draft whatsoever. They decided to take position of needs / best player available at times. I didn't love Tyler Booker at 12. I think they could have gotten him at 44, but they got him at 12. He's a stud. He had 0 sacks given up his whole career at Alabama. I think it was like 3 QB hits in his whole career. So he'll be great, hopefully. Then they got Donovan Ezaraku from Boston College, an edge rusher who I think pairing him with Micah is going to be great with the departure of Tank Lawrence and the kind of a shuffle of the defense. Then you got Siobhan Ravel, cornerback, who was first-round talent that tore his ACL, that's ready to go by this season. Jaden Blue, that was the running back choice in the 5th round. It's tough because Jerry loves the Texas running backs, but also Jerry's playing a big gamble with this offense. I think actually, to be honest with everybody, the defensive picks they took this round were very good. I think they hit on almost all their defensive picks. I think it's going to be a short up defense. I think the defense is going to be much, much better at stopping the run this year, much, much better at covering a tight end. The safeties have gotten a little better. But the offense is going to be really bad. It's going to be really bad. Their running backs now are Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, and now Jaden Blue. Their wide receivers are CeeDee, Tolbert, Mingo, Ferguson at tight end. It's a very plain Jane offense, and I think it's going to backfire very, very big. And looking at the draft recaps and the comments from Jerry and everything, Jerry is still putting out smoke screens. I don't think it's real at all that they're planning some trades for a running back or they're planning some trades for a wide receiver. I'm not buying that one bit. I personally believe that it's all fake. Like, I think he's just doing this to get in the fans' heads and just have them interested. But I just think the offense is going to be pretty, pretty bad. I think the offense has a lot of work to do before week 1.
I mean, you bring up the trade aspect. I saw about a week and a half ago, right before the draft, the Seahawks were open to trading Kenneth Walker. Would you, as a Cowboys fan, take Kenneth Walker in a trade?
I mean, the trades that we're seeing were like Kenneth Walker, Brees Hall, George Pickens, Jameson Williams. They weren't bona fide stars that like. I mean, they're good players, but not obviously number one options. Um, I was okay trading for Kenny Walker or for George Pickens or those guys before the draft. I would have been okay taking them instead of a fifth rounder or a sixth rounder or a seventh rounder. I would have traded those picks away. But now, post draft, you really don't have much to bargain with. I don't really know what you would give up. I mean, because there's very rarely are there player for player trades. I feel like I just feel like there's
Very rare, yeah.
rarely
In football, for sure.
oh, it's mostly like picks for players or like they attach one player. But I I think it's going to be interesting to see because they have a lot of work to do. I know the free agents are not great in the NFL. I'm looking at it now. I know like Amari's still there. I think Nick Chubb might honestly be a free agent still. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of who's available. So maybe they take a chance on those people. But if you take a chance on Nick Chubb, if you take a chance on Amari Cooper, like those kind of people, like these are old guys that were banged up at this point in their careers. So it
Amari,
should
another
be,
stint.
yeah. I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I, I just don't. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think the offense has a very good chance of being bad this year. Yeah, looking at it now, Amari Cooper. Oh, Matthew Judon is still a free agent. Okay. Robert Woods.
Old.
Yeah, I mean these are not star players in my opinion that you're like, oh, let's go get them. Let's see. The running backs are Jamal Williams, Nick Chubb, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins. Like it's not missing, not trading up for a running back in round two. Well, Travion and Q got taken was tough, and then you took Jaden Blue late. You didn't take some running backs in the third or fourth round, so they got a lot of work to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they definitely have a lot of work to do. I think both of our teams, plus Joey's, have a lot of work to do, possibly before week one. And there's a lot of shaping up from all three teams. And I think that I expect to win the West this year. But that's just my plan. I don't know where you see the Cowboys looking by week
Yeah,
one.
Cowboys maybe a wild card team have a chance to maybe be in the mix, but definitely going to need to see Dak has to be healthy. Let's see how the offense goes, but the defense should be fine. The offense might be bad. The Bears we mentioned quickly. I love the Luther Burden pick in the second round. I think it's a great replacement for Keenan Allen. That'll be great. Looking at it, looks like they took some depth guys as well, linebackers, O-line, D tackles. Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren was pretty fascinating. I thought they were going to go the other way, but I understood the virtue of Colston Loveland. He blocks well, he plays well, kind of fits the Ben Johnson scheme a little more than Tyler Warren.
Yeah,
I also think Tyler Warren is a good player, but you eliminate probably some of his rush yards in the NFL. He probably won't be rushing the ball as much, and he's not as good of a blocker, in my personal opinion, over Colston Loveland. I think Colston Loveland's a better blocker. So Bears
I'd
look
agree.
like they had a decent draft. Again, not all three of us, none of us really had a fancy draft. Obviously, Joey has the two weapons early in the draft, but other than that, a lot of depth pieces, a lot of things teams need. Pretty good draft. What other storylines did you want to talk about the draft before we move on?
I think a couple storylines. Bless you. A couple of storylines I'd like to point out is a lot of team ups of Buckeyes. You have two Buckeyes in Pittsburgh. You have two Buckeyes in Arizona. Um, that's great. Just to see Will and Jack get to play together in Pittsburgh is a great storyline, and getting to see Cody and Denzel play in the NFC West on the Cardinals. So I'll get to see them twice a year, so that'll be fun.
It's the Arizona Buckeyes. Obviously, Cody and Denzel this year. They took Paris a couple years ago. They've had Marv this past year. They just hired Justin Fry to be their O-line coach. The Buckeyes are all over. I'm pretty sure they did they sign? No, it was Seth to Cincinnati, G to New England,
Right.
and who else was our third UDFA?
I thought it was just those two.
No, there wasn't one more. I thought we had 3 UDFA's.
I don't.
Let's
I don't
see.
actually know that one.
Oh, Josh Fryer. Yeah, see, Josh Fryer,
Oh, Josh
another
Fire.
Cardinal. I knew there was one of the UDFA's that went to Arizona. So yeah, the Buckeyes were all over. Jake with the spin zone to that I can still support Travion being in Boston now. Might be my new favorite player for the Pats. So I'll just root for him. Don't know if G will make the team, but I'll definitely root for Travion because he'll be
Will
on the
you?
team
Will
and
you
he'll be a
be
great back.
so with moving to Boston and the Pats being in Foxborough? Will you be buying a Travion Patriots jersey?
I don't know if I'm gonna go that far yet, but I'll definitely have no problem rooting for him out there and can root for him. I've obviously have Patriot hate because they were so good, but no real like you said, no real impact of me. But a lot of Buckeyes everywhere. I thought the Panthers actually had a pretty good draft. They obviously stole Ted McMillan from the Cowboys, but they get Cody Ransom, Lathan Ransom in the 4th round. Great pick. I thought he's a steal. Ransom's going to be fantastic. He's a hard hitter. Ty Hamilton goes to the Rams, Hancock to the Bills, Denzel to the Cardinals, obviously Will and Jack to the Steelers. We were moving a lot on the 3rd day, and then you always had the main ones, Travion, Q, the 4 first rounders. Some
Mecca
good
of the
picks there all the
Bucks.
way around. A Mecca to the Bucks. You obviously had very common this year. I felt like I was seeing a lot of posts from like main news source, ESPN, Bleach Report, etc., posting like this person's been picked and it wasn't the right picture of player. I think
Oh,
NFL Instagram, they posted Josh Simmons got picked by the Chiefs and they posted someone else. And then Jordan Schultz posted that the Browns select Judkins, but he used the wrong picture of number 1. He used a picture of Iggy instead of a picture of Quinshon
oh
Judkins.
no.
So because they both wear 1. But they so yeah, so Buckeyes were all over. Really enjoyed that. Um, Other than that, nothing too crazy, I think, within the draft. Obviously, we can talk about it for a couple minutes. It's just beating a dead horse. Shador, he, going in the 5th round. I think the Browns actually also had a good draft. I don't know why they took Dylan Gabriel. I think that was the only
Yeah, I
question
think that
I
was
had
pointless.
was like, why did they take him if they were going to take Shador, or maybe they were gambling on just like sending out smoke screens that they weren't going to take a quarterback. But that was a slide like no other.
I think that
I
might
had
be
never seen
worse
anything
than
like
Bo
that.
Callahan.
Way worse. Bo Callahan still went in the top 10. Rodgers was still a 1st-rounder. Even Dak went in the 4th round. I know Dak wasn't like a number 1 overall pick option or like 1st-round option, but still Dak in the 4th round. He wasn't like Tom Brady, where like Tom Brady was just an average quarterback that got drafted last. Tom Brady was never in a mock draft to be picked that early. But it was embarrassing. It was rough. The theories were unreal, but crazy. He lands in Cleveland. We'll see. He's got, I think, 2nd best odds or 3rd best odds to take the week 1 opening week snap. So should be really fascinating to see. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that for a guy who thought he was going to go in the 1st round and ended up going in the 5th round, I mean, he had quite a setup for day 1 and had, still quite a setup for day 2. And then when day 3 came around, he was just sitting in his living room, or not even, it was like, looked like a home office. He was just sitting with a couple
Yeah.
friends and then watching it on TV, it looked like.
He was on like Twitch the 3rd day too. And I
Yeah,
was
it
like,
looked
oh
like
my God,
Twitch
what is
too.
happening?
So I think, I mean, at the same time, it's like, is it bad to say if you're gonna dish it, you got to be able to take it? I mean, you're gonna dish out all that, flex on them, and I got my jersey retired, even though I didn't do anything for school and only went to the Alamo Bowl. Um, but I think I personally think he kind of deserves it. I mean, I think it's
Okay.
deserved. I think he deserves that he should have fell. I don't know if he probably could have. He maybe should have gone in the 3rd or the 4th round. I think the 5th may have been a little too much, but I think it's a little deserved. He has a terrible attitude. I think he's too flashy. I think that a guy like this should be biasy, obviously, because we're all Ohio State fans on this podcast, but I think Will Howard should have gone before him. I think Will Howard's a
Yeah.
much better quarterback. I'm sure Will's interviews were a lot better than his. I think that I personally think Will should have gone before him, and I even think to say, and even though we don't really like him, I think Kyle McCord probably should have went before him. At the end of the day,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would say that. The crazy thing is, talent alone wise, if you just put his talent with my name, if this guy was named Michael Sharber, I don't know where he would be drafted if he was just a regular quarterback. Because I think he was good enough to be drafted in the first 2 rounds. Would I have taken him number 1 overall? Probably not. Would I have taken him top 10? Probably not. Would I have considered him at 21 for the Steelers? Probably
maybe.
heavily. And then the second round for sure. I would like to know what was going on in those interviews. It seems that must be the tiny little piece of information we're
I
missing.
mean,
That he's just going in there. I mean, what was being said? How nonchalant was he taking it? To me, that has to be the open thing, because even then, so I understand the Dion concern and all that. He had to have been going in there not prepared at all or not cared about the game enough, because I truly don't understand how he fell to the 5th round. I mean, like, everybody got a chance to draft him. It wasn't like it was like, oh, the Seahawks never had a pick to the 5th round and they took him.
right?
Like, everybody had multiple chances to grab him. So I don't know what happened. Maybe it's a chip on his shoulder and he can go from
Maybe.
there and get better.
I also think that it was kind of like with him getting drafted so late. Like I don't know if I read a tweet or I was watching a video, and it said that when he went into the meeting, I guess they asked him some sort of combo of like a package, and he didn't know the answer to it, and I think he started like yelling at the coach or something, or there was like a disagreement in one of the interviews I possibly heard. So maybe that was something. Maybe his teammates didn't go to his birthday party. I think that could have been an
Maybe.
issue. So yeah, one other thought, and before we go on to something else, what are your thoughts on the whole prank call situation?
That's bad. I don't know how that happens. But apparently that kid Albright's son was like got in trouble. I don't know how it happened. Um, if he was at school, it looked like he was calling from like school. So how did he get that? That doesn't
Right.
seem like something you just like go and look on your dad's computer for and then like leave. Like I'm guessing that the dad had something to do with it. Maybe just like sent the kid the letter or something, or like a screenshot, and then he did it. Um, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often.
It
But then
happened three
Shador's,
times. It
but
happened
then
three times this
Shador,
draft.
but then Shador said that basically they're given a phone number. I saw him say on Twitch that they're giving a phone number that's like associated with theirs. So like if I give my phone number, they just tied this one random phone number for that day so that the
Hmm.
teams have it. So the teams aren't actually calling your personal. The way I understood it was the teams aren't actually calling your personal number. They're calling a number that was given to you from the draft
Hmm.
that you're like assigned. So they had to have gotten that. I heard Tyler Warren got a call. I heard
Yeah.
Shador got a call. Who was the third person? I didn't hear a third one.
Okay, maybe it was just two then. I thought there was a third
Okay.
for some reason.
Okay, I heard just those two, but pretty wild. I thought, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think it was really bad. I just don't like, because it's
Right.
one thing, like, the video of Baker Mayfield where like
Right.
he's
Right. Right.
waiting and
Right.
like
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
his buddy calls him and he's like, "What are you doing? Why would you do that?" Like, that's so different in my opinion, because like it's just your buddies trying to like ease the tension. Like,
Right.
this was not that, so I think it's
Right.
I
Yeah.
didn't love it. Didn't love it.
No, I think it was a little. I mean, definitely, it was like at the time, like you're thinking like, oh, like that's a little funny, but at the same time, it's like also horrible because you're kind of like messing with somebody's life.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely not to be not the time to be doing it. But yeah, draft's over. Should be fun. I know voluntary workouts are starting. People are signing their contracts. Ashton Genty becomes the second highest paid running back in the league with $32 million guaranteed. Pretty absurd. Coming out as a rookie, so that's great for him. And 17 Buckeyes leave. I will say this is the last thing I'll say about the draft. 17 Buckeyes leave. The national champions are gone. And the two best players on the team, in my opinion, are still on the roster. So good.
And one of those two is supposed to project to be in the top 5 next year.
Yeah, and one has to wait another year after that. So
Right.
pretty good standing. Shout out Ryan Day. He won't be my clutch moment of the week, but shout out Ryan Day for zero scholarship players entering the portal in the spring version. So shout out to him. NFL is almost here. May 14th. We're looking at 2 weeks till the schedule comes out, so that should be exciting. Always a fun day. We'll see. I saw something that 16 international games is the number this year.
Hopefully the
Nick
Seahawks
Wright
don't
said,
have to travel as much this year.
Nick Wright said it again. Just make it international week and have everybody be on the same schedule. But should be very fascinating to see for that. But NFL, fun weekend. Green Bay was great. Pittsburgh next year. Now shifting gears though to the NBA. Obviously some main series to talk about. We can hit on the Eastern Conference first. Bad call, game 4 of the Pistons game.
Huge call.
Huge call. No call was bad. 3-1 now New York in that series, right? I'm pretty sure.
3-1, it's over. 3-1 over.
3-1, it's over. Detroit, they go in and grab both games in Detroit. Pretty crazy, I thought. In live time, I thought it was just like a little like touch, but it was blatant contact. They said it in the last 2-minute drill, like when they give that report. Bad call.
Really bad call. Josh Hart even said it on Twitter, I think, after the game.
I saw that
he did make contact with him. But I think, that series is over. They're going to wrap it up here at the Mecca. I think Wednesday they play. So, I think that series is wraps.
Yeah, wrapped up series. The Indiana Bucks series, Indiana wins. They just finished. They're up 3-1 in the series. Dame's potentially tore his ACL. Would be a massive blow to them. Could be coming to the end for the Giannis time in Milwaukee. I don't know when his contract ends, but I know it's soon. And I know he's mentioned before that, hey, like if you guys don't do anything, I'm on my way out here pretty soon. Looks to be that he has another year. This upcoming season, he'll have he has 2 years left.
Yeah, 2028,
26. And then a player option before the 2027-2028 season. Oh my God, that year, if he takes that deal, he'll make $62 million. But Giannis might be on his way out sooner than we think. The Bucks only winning one title. The Doc Rivers curse lives on. Should be Indiana advancing. Should be New York advancing unless something crazy goes wrong and either of them blow a 3-1 lead. Celtics, Cavs, still worlds above, in my opinion, than any other team in the Eastern Conference. Like I've said before, and Joey has said it, we're on a fast-paced course for them to just be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. We'd both be shocked if they're not playing each other. But Eastern Conference pretty much set, in my opinion. The top seed should advance and go from there. On the Western Conference side, though, what a weekend of basketball outside of the Thunder Grizzlies series. Thunder advance, sweep the Grizzlies. Domination. The first game was a 50-point win. The second game they battled. The third game they were down 28, I think 29 at one point. Came back, won that game. Game 4 they won again. No Ja Morant, obviously, the last 2 games, but Thunder advanced. They look just as good as advertised. The number 1 seed looks great. They're going to have a group battle with Nuggets or the Clippers. Nuggets, Clippers. It sucks because I think that was game of the weekend, but then also the Lakers T-Wolves game was fantastic on Sunday night. So both games, and even the Warriors Rockets game 3 was great. So those 3 series, a lot to talk about. I think real quick. What a game, that Denver LA series.
Amazing.
Fantastic bad pass shot by Jokic. What a play by Gordon. I've never seen a buzzer beater that close to somebody's finger still holding on. What are your thoughts? It's now 2-1, or I'm sorry, it's 2-2 Nuggets Clippers. They're going back to Denver. 2-2. What do you think? You think LA has a chance?
No, I think it's over. You're going back to Denver. You're playing in the elevation. I think this one will be the experience over this. I wouldn't say young Clippers team, but a not as experienced Clippers team. I think the Nuggets take.
I mean, they got Kawhi. They have James Harden. They have
I'm saying.
Zubac. Like they have
I'm
some. Like,
saying
they
in
have
the.
a lot of experience
I'm saying
there.
in
Are
the
you saying?
in the sense of it's a tied series. They're gonna crack. That
Got
Clippers
Clippers
history
are
is
more likely to crack. I see.
Clippers history is gonna come back as it always does, and it's gonna crack, and they're gonna win two in a row, and then you're gonna get Nuggets versus the Thunder, like predicted a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The history is not on the Clippers' side in any way. They've lost a series to them in the bubble before. They've lost other series. History is not on their side one
No,
bit.
and
The
and another
Denver's playing
thing,
well.
is that losing a 2 point game at home is not a good look going into a home series, another two in Denver.
Yeah, heartbreaking fashion. Denver somehow is always good for one of those series. Last year when they beat the Lakers 4-1, the Jamal Murray buzzer beater. They have some sort of devil magic. But I will say I'm not one to compliment the Clippers very often. But I will say that Intuit Dome actually looked like a very good playoff environment. It looked much more
Hmm.
involved than crypto from all the videos, and I
Did
mean,
they wear the
obviously the game I
T-shirts?
saw. I don't think they did T-shirts, but they did towels. They did noise makers. The wall looked cool. Like I think it was a cool experience for the Clipper fans. I didn't even know there were that many Clipper fans. Looked like a lot of celebrities just wanted to go because it was like a playoff game, but didn't even know they were like maybe they aren't Clippers fans. They're just celebrities in LA, which could be that.
Which is most of the
But
time, yeah.
um, but very good fans. I was very jealous that the Lakers didn't have that. So very, very cool to see. Warriors, Rockets, big win for the Warriors. No Jimmy Butler. We don't know if he'll play game 4, obviously, with his ass contusion, but we'll see. But a big game. Steph dominated. Draymond was fantastic on defense. Buddy Hield had a good game as well. And surprisingly enough, Gary Payton, in my opinion, was the player of
Beast.
the game.
I love it.
Hasn't had big moments like that since probably their title run a couple years ago. But
Right.
great game by him. Rockets. I just think the Rockets are the Thunder of last year, just a little too young. There's no closer. There's no
No.
guy they need to make a big shot. Amon Thompson has been good. Jalen Green had a real stinker in Game 3. Sengun was all right. Brooks fouled out. So I don't know. I think they're just too young. I think they need another year or something. But I think the Warriors have control of this series, and Steph's been incredible the entire series.
I mean, yeah, for a guy at 36 years old, 37 years old, or maybe he's 38, one in that range, he is
I think
still amazing.
it's 30, 36.
He's
Maybe.
still
Let's
able to do
see.
amazing things like that. I mean, he hit some deep shots the other night. By the way, he tied. I saw a great stat the other day. He tied Kobe, tied for
Yep.
third now for most 30 plus point games.
35 fives. I think is it 30 plus or 35 5 games?
I think it was 30 plus is what I saw.
Okay.
And I mean, so that's amazing in itself, but also able to, win as they win another great game in this series, especially, being where we are seated. I think it's a great spot to hopefully take over and take a 3-1 lead going into game 4. Sadly, Jimmy's down, but other guys are
Jimmy's
stepping up.
down.
Podes is playing great. I mean, he's shooting the ball well. Gary Payton, like you said, shooting the ball well also, but he's just playing great defense, good steals. And I mean, we've only gone through 3 games, so I'm going to knock on wood. But Draymond has composed himself.
Yeah.
The only thing that really happened was that little scuttle at the end of the game between him and Jalen Green. But I
nothing
mean,
crazy there.
Nothing crazy. So he's held his own. And he's rebounded very well, actually. I think so. If we can hold on for 2 more wins, we're gonna be in a good spot.
Yeah, I think, and right now it's looking like if they win that series, they'll play, as of right now, Minnesota, unless the Lakers have sort of miraculous comeback. But that would be another good series because I think that's a fun series. And The West is just so tight, so close. But I do think the Warriors have the advantage here to win this series and take over. But even with or without Jimmy, I really think so. So I think it's Warriors series to lose. One more game, right, in Golden State tomorrow.
One more game, yeah. One more game in Golden State.
Okay.
I'm gonna. We watched it actually. We watched it at the How I Met Your Mother bar right by our hotel because we just wanted to watch the
Okay.
game on a TV. I didn't just want to watch it in the room. We might
Okay.
have to go back there tomorrow and watch the game. Keep the luck
All right.
rolling.
All right. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, Warriors look good. And then obviously the Lakers series, two collapses, back-to-back game. It's 3-1 T-Wolves, easily could be 3-1 Lakers. Game 3 had a 13-3 run by the T-Wolves to get back in the game in Game 3. Game 4 had 14-2. Just bad. A bad game from Austin Reeves. He's had a bad series in my entire opinion. That just hasn't been his series. Rui's been great. I think he's made some big shots.
Huge.
Luka's been okay. He had a good game 1, 2, and 4. I didn't think he had a good game 3. Turnovers, name of the game, turnovers. Stupid fouls. LeBron was non-existent today in the fourth quarter. He had some big defensive plays, but 0 points. In the fourth, JJ, a major gamble, playing them the entire half, never going to the bench. That was shocking. I'm surprised they didn't even give LeBron a couple minutes just in the fourth to get him just back to acclimated for a couple minutes. A bad turnover by LeBron with 30 seconds left, a lazy turnover to basically lose the game. That led to the Anthony Edwards free throws.
I have a
Just
couple
bad.
things.
Just
Couple
bad.
things
Just a
on the
bad
game.
finish. Okay.
Couple things on the game. Number one was, what are your thoughts on the Anthony Edwards, LeBron slapping the ball or his hand? Was that a foul or not?
I don't even know. The thing that sucks about that rule is they didn't challenge. What sucks, there was two things. It was a foul, but what sucks is they didn't challenge for it to be a foul because there was no foul called. They challenged possession.
Right.
And since they reviewed possession, they're able to see that foul. So what also sucked is because they thought they had possession, the Lakers called timeout. So not only did they lose their timeout, they lost the possession, the timeout, and they got the 2 shots, making it 3 points. So there was no chance to advance the ball to half court, which was just a disaster play. But again, that play doesn't happen without a lazy turnover.
And 2 other things. One other being was the trip/foul or just was that a foul? Was it not a foul?
I mean,
Thoughts?
It's ticky tack. I think it was he kind of like tripped. I think they probably should have called it a foul, but like I don't think that was the end all be all because they called the timeout. They didn't like turn the ball over, but it was just again lazy, stupid play to end the game. Ant played fantastic. Julius Randle's having the best series of his entire life. He's been fantastic. Yeah. Unbelievable play from him. Really did not expect that. It'll be incredible to watch him go down to being a regular player next series or whoever they play. Julius Randle will come back down to earth, but he's been phenomenal. He attacks. The unfortunate truth is the team with Luka's defensively and obviously the DK from Mark Williams trade, teams are able to get in to the paint with ease. No real worry in the world. There's a mismatch obviously against this team. Maybe they can win Game 5, but I find it very hard to believe they'll be able to even win this series.
I have a message from a wrong side fan for you. They texted me and said, from Nick, yes. He texted me and said, "Tell Michael, Lake Show, Pop Smoke, home court, don't matter, T-Wolves in 5. Laughing, crying emoji.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment. LeBron had another great game tonight, but again, he doesn't show up in the fourth quarter, so I don't know what's happening. Luka was all right. Needs to find a way. They need to either help Luka on the double team or he needs to do a better job of getting the ball out of his hand before he gets double team. Stop picking up the ball at half court. Truly remarkable how many times he does that, gets stuck in a corner, and then he's like, oh, I don't know what happened. Like, it's just every time. Just bad. By the time this drops, I guess the series won't be over because the next game is Wednesday. But, yeah. Could be over soon. Could be a rough first round exit for the Lakers.
And if it is a first round exit, what do you do if you're LeBron James?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's got one more year left on his contract. He'll probably finish that out. Other than that, you just got to hope that he takes a deal. Luka gets extended, and you get you get some depth. I said from the beginning of the series that I thought we had a better team of starters, but I thought the Timberwolves were a much better depth team, and they had the better depth to compete with us. And that's exactly what's happened. They have outscored us from the bench every single game. The Lakers do not perform well. I think we had 6 bench points. They had 23. Another 12 turnovers. Out rebounded on the offensive boards. The same exact story, in my opinion, as last year against the Denver Nuggets. 3 quarters of excellence, 4th quarter of bad, whatever the quarter may be. And all right, maybe I take that back. 36 minutes of good, 12 minutes of bad, and the 12 minutes are very bad, whether it was the second quarter today or the 4th quarter. Game 3 was the 3rd and 4th quarter, but just too much ugliness. We'll see. We'll see if they can get it back to Minnesota, but Lakers in trouble.
Lakers definitely in trouble for sure.
Lakers in trouble, but playoffs still great, very fun. Don't know a lot about the puck going on. I know the Kings are playing right now.
I have one thing from the puck. The Canes, 1 win away from moving on to the next round. Shout out the Canes.
Oh, Kings, Oilers tied going to overtime, 3-3 right now. LA leads the series 2-1. I know Toronto is playing incredible. Senators won. They won in overtime yesterday to avoid the sweep, and Washington's playing incredible as well. So a lot of good hockey left. But now we're going to do a quick ad read and word from our sponsor before we get to Outside Line. But now we're going to do Clutch Moment of the Week. Our Clutch Moment of the Week is brought to you by Shore Metals, serving Southern California since 1970. Big enough to serve you and small enough to know you. See Stan, he'll help you out. Jake, who's your Clutch Moment of the Week?
My Clutch Moment of the Week goes to Allison Bauman. She ordered me some DP Dough chili wings Thursday night after the ugly tuna. She knew that I needed a little bit of food after the bar. So shout out her for getting me some wings and helping me out once I got home, leading me towards the toilet.
Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, the first round of tuna, there's nothing better than that. Love that from Allison. My clutch moment, I have 2. Cam Jurgens, the offensive lineman for the Eagles, a hero, I should say, gets a big contract. I don't think it was this week. I think it may have been recently though, but I saw it again this week when our mom sent it to us. But after his new contract extension, they asked him what was the first thing he bought. A wise man once said it's the best invention, but he bought it. Cam Jurgens, Clutch Moment of the Week. He bought TSA pre-check with his new contract. A fantastic purchase. Priceless in my opinion.
That's
just
right,
incredible.
Joey. Even NFL players
Joey.
buy it.
Even NFL players know how incredible it is. But yeah, Cam Jurgens, loved it. Was one of my favorite things of the weekend. Really enjoyed that. And then my other clutch moment, I want to get the right amount of facts. Here it is. The Ohio State spring wide receiver room from 2021 has now featured 6 first-rounders: Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jameson Williams, JSN, Marv, and Emeka Ibuka. Shout out to Brian Hartline, Clutch Moment of the Week. Obviously, the last couple of years haven't been great against Michigan. A lot of people give their flack for that. But Brian Hartline, fantastic job. Continues to recruit clutch moments. Continues to recruit high-end receivers. If you're a high-end receiver, come to Ohio State. You'll be a great pick. And a side clutch moment of the week for Hartline is Ryan Day after 6 seasons at Ohio State. 14 first-rounders and 10 losses.
Wow. Yeah,
so
that's pretty good stat.
They're counting also another person had him at 16 first-rounders. They counted 2019, but didn't give full credit because was just the assistant coach on that one. But
That's fair.
Very exciting. So shout out to the Buckeyes. A lot of clutch moment there. Okay. But clutch moment of the week, Cam Jurgens, Brian Hartline, Allison. Shout out to all of them. Cool moments of the week. Now to outside the line.
Are you ready? Now moving on to outside the lines. Starting off with everybody's favorite tone deaf person of the week. Michael, who's your tone deaf person of the week?
Tone deaf person of the week. Obviously, he's got to go out to the man himself, Mel Kiper Jr. Oh my God, get this old geriatric man off the TV screen. He was acting like it was a crime against humanity that Shedeur Sanders was not being drafted, how disgraceful it was. Reese Davis and Louis Riddick both were like, what is wrong with you? Like, let's just talk about someone else. They were talking about Shedeur for hours on end when other players were getting drafted. Tyler Shuck from Louisville gets picked by the Saints, and Shedeur is still being talked about. They're still talking about Shedeur. I mean, unbelievably arrogant. It was so annoying all weekend long, Mel Kiper. And then along with that, Mel Kiper gives out his grades for all the teams from the weekend draft classes. One team gets an A+. It's the Browns, which I'm not saying the Browns didn't have a good draft. They did. But how is that the only team? They picked 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs. Like, that's your A+ draft. Like, that's what's going on. So just Mel Kiper, he was all over the place the entire weekend. And finally, Reese Davis at the end of the weekend just let him have it. It was like, get over yourself. But yeah, super tone deaf, Mel Kiper.
I have 2 tone deafs, actually. One actually happened today, and one was
New York
also
City is
over.
the city of tone deaf.
Very true. But no, one happened today, and one is also NFL related. I'll start with the NFL.
Okay.
My tone deaf is everybody who tweeted at Shedeur Sanders after he was drafted in the 5th round. Oh, you're gonna do so great! Like, don't screw the haters.
Okay.
Blah blah blah.
Oh, I
Dude,
saw this. Yeah.
You're a 5th round pick. You
Right.
had a like $2 million setup as if you were going number 1. You're tone deaf. Like Twitter and Shedeur also tone deaf combined.
And no love for Dylan Gabriel. It felt like.
No,
I feel like everybody's forgot about that.
Everyone forgot about him. So that's tone deaf in itself.
And all the Browns players were like tweeting at Shedeur, but like not tweeting at Dylan Gabriel, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, so that's tone deaf. Number 1. Number 2, people don't know how to walk around a stadium. People don't know how to walk around a stadium. You're in Yankee Stadium. It's not that big. It's not that big. The walkways aren't that large. There's a lot of people there. It was a Sunday, so there's a lot of people walking around. Move fast. Walk fast, people. You can't walk 2 miles an hour with your $17 beer and $18 milkshake. Like, you got to move fast. I mean, it was just awful, and people are bumping into you. It's the worst.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, bad stadium etiquette. Not good. Not good. Any celebrities today? Any celebrities?
I didn't see any celebrities. Oh, actually, third tone deaf. Sorry. There was a group of, like, I'm going to say they were between the ages of 18 and 20. They would not stop talking the entire subway home from New York, or from Yankee Stadium. From Yankee Stadium, they wouldn't stop talking. It was like, Mom said it was the exact same as when we were in Japan and we were the only people talking on the train. These people were the only people talking on the subway car. I was exhausted. I was tired. It was,
interesting.
They just wouldn't stop talking. Didn't go to stands.
Did you
Can't. 6 more months. 6 more months.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Very exciting though. Yeah, very tone deaf. Good day though at Yankee Stadium. Wrapping up though, wrong and right side. What do we have?
Wrong side. I would say wrong side would be. Oh, wrong side would be. Throwing up Thursday night on the draft day.
That's a bad
Turn
wrong
it,
side.
turn it up on Thursday night after round one of the draft. Right side
Okay.
is two right sides. One, nobody sat next to me on the hour and 45-minute flight from Columbus to JFK.
Massive.
That's a win. Second
Mm-hmm.
right side being I got bunch more Nike gear this past week to finish out the year.
Unbelievable. Yeah, the Nike King now, unlimited items.
Hey, you
That's a
got
good right
gear.
side.
It's being
Yeah,
shipped to you.
yeah, yeah. That's exciting. Okay, yeah, good right side. That's a bad wrong side. Wrong side for me. Didn't really have much. I had 0 Buckeye Cowboys, which really did suck. Um, really unfortunate, in my opinion. But other than that, not a terrible
Ooh,
week. I'd say.
sorry.
Okay,
I had
go
one more
ahead.
right side. Sorry. I went and saw Star
Okay.
Wars Revenge of the Sith re-release
Oh,
on
I
Friday.
nice. Who'd you go with?
I went with just some of the beta guys.
Nice. Yeah, I went as well on Friday. I had double feature, The Accountant 2 and Wrong Side and Revenge of the Sith, not Wrong Side. Um, yeah, that was fun. Great movie. Wrong Side was Rob. You know what? Wrong Side. He still turned. Not
Yeah,
no
still turned.
new ending.
Turn.
Right Side. By the time this episode comes out, 1 month till Boston. Exciting. All the final stuff is getting in motion now. Meg and I almost done with it. Very excited. 1 month to go, just getting things set up, getting all that ready. But yeah, very excited. Almost there. Joey, right side for Joey, now moved into his new place. That's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any other details? Any other wrong side, right side? Angel's officially dead.
Yeah,
Also,
Angels
we're
are dead.
dead.
We're out.
We
It's
couldn't
over.
even
We
we
didn't even
couldn't
make it to
couldn't
June.
couldn't even make it to May. June couldn't even make it to May. 1-5 versus the Pirates and the Twins is pathetic. Yeah,
Since you're on the topic of baseball for a second, I hear you're in the possible process of buying a Fenway Park hat.
yeah. Might get a Boston hat. Have to decide which one. Haven't bought any gear yet. Might be eating ramen if I buy anything extra. So, not trying to spend extra money before we go out there. But yeah, in the process of that. But yeah, maybe the Red Sox will be good, or they'll just sense my luck and just be bad too.
Yeah, you might be screwed.
So, but yeah, good week. NFL draft, OTAs about to start, playoffs still great in the Western Conference, Eastern Conference. It's Celtics, Cavs. Great episode, great week. Jake filled in. Joey may be back next week. Figuring it out, piecing things together. Sorry we've had no interviews as of late. Hoping to get more of those set up this summer. But another great episode. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Stay blessed.